Often, when we read about spirituality, me at least, I'm drawn to these grand tales of meditation masters performing wonderful acts, and I enjoy reading about them, and it creates a sense of urgency in my practice, a sense of purpose, a sense of what can really be achieved. But often when I listen to Dharma talks, they talk about spirituality in the mundane, in the everyday sense, and in Thai forest tradition, Theravadan Buddhism, one of the main discourses, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. It says Dharma is beautiful in the beginning, beautiful in the middle, and beautiful in the end, and the fruits of meditation are born in the present and grow. And I think it's fun to read about great meditation masters, but it's also good to understand what it actually means on a day-to-day level, and when we measure progress, it's easy to get caught up with states of mind, altered states of consciousness, whether we've experienced them accidentally or if we've pursued them, or anything to do with these supernatural states. But really, it's the subtle things that are important. Most of our life is mundane. These peak experiences that we may or may not have in meditation, they're impermanent, and all things are impermanent. But if we can enjoy the everyday moments, and we can see beauty in the everyday moments, and laugh at ourselves, and then life is a lot richer. Yesterday I received a call from the car garage, and I was expecting to pay £200 or so for a small part to be fitted. Instead, I got a phone call saying that wasn't quite the case. There's a couple of parts that are a bit rusty, and I should replace them. And my natural reaction was to thank him for spotting this part, and I was really grateful, and I agreed for the new part to be fitted and went about my business. And then a few hours later, I thought, I noticed, it's like, I didn't get grumpy. I didn't think, how much is this going to cost me? I didn't try to think of the right thing to think. That I just happened to have a skillful thought arise, which for me at least is quite rare, and I thought, I'm getting somewhere with this. I had a good response to a situation. I could have interpreted it in any one of a number of ways. If I was cynical, I could have thought that the mechanic was trying to diddle me out of money by replacing parts that didn't need to be replaced. But I've known this person for many years, and it didn't occur to me, and it probably wouldn't have occurred to me at a new garage. But I was quite proud of myself for having that, and I thought, I'm doing all right, and that's example one. And later that day, it was time to take my dog out for her wee before we went to bed, and I told her what to do, and she decided not to do it, and she expected me to carry her to the back door. So I gently picked her up and put her on the floor, and she didn't really want to walk, and I walked behind her and walked out, and then she started sniffing round outside and wouldn't come back in after not wanting to get up. And I said quite casually, "Bodhi dog, why do you have to be such a fucker?" And I was very calm. It wasn't filled with anger, but I just said it flippantly because I was getting ready for bed. And then I heard a small child say, "Daddy, where did that voice come from?" And I thought, oh, you're not so mindful now, are you? And yeah, I thought best not to give him a leaflet on my mindfulness course and skillful living at that time. And I had a chuckle to myself and thought best not to interfere in that poor dad's life any further, and took the dog in. And so it shows that we there's good in us, there's bad in us. And today, one of my proudest achievements was noticing that the clock had changed. And I thought, I've noticed something about my surroundings. That's very mindful, isn't it? Well done, Alex. So yeah, there's these subtle things that when we do something good, we're like, oh yes, well done. And when we do something less skillful, we can laugh at ourselves. And I think even laughing at myself was, rather than beating myself up, thinking, oh, you're such a bad person, swearing in the presence of children, and I didn't do that because I didn't do it intentionally, and I didn't beat myself up over it. I had a laugh and at myself, and it's these reactions to these situations. I could have got grumpy at any one of these situations, grumpy at other people, grumpy at myself, but it's just having that presence of mind and that light-heartedness of spirit that's the real benefit of awareness, and these changes are both very subtle and very profound at the same time. And I just wanted to share that what everyday spirituality is like for me, at least. Obviously it's different for other people, but I wanted to make sure that I'm trying not to build spirituality into something bigger than it is. There is the possibility to sit alone on top of a mountain for 4 years, and then there's this sort of spirituality which is a lot more present, and that's what mindfulness and meditation can bring in someone's life. So I thought I'd just share that. Thank you for listening. I'm very humbled that people are still here. Thank you.